Yeah.
So,
Why would you want to?
Physics account.
My wife had a doctor's
This is the January 14th Parks Board meeting. Welcome, everybody. Happy New Year. And we have a new face. This is Danny Roeder. I thought maybe we'd take just a minute and go around and everybody can introduce themselves. Rachel, well, I guess.
I'm Rachel.
Each other. Yes, thank you. Yes. Going clockwise. Yeah.
Dick Swarthout.
Good meeting. I'm Scott Reese. Nice job on the microphone.
I know, that's just
Right.
Sarah McLean.
Dana Mulder.
Maggie Kloss.
I'm Sophia.
Jamie Nelke.
Do you need a microphone, Jamie?
No, we're sharing.
Nice to meet you all.
Welcome.
Great,
Well, thanks.
welcome, yes, and just in case Karen listens to this later, Karen, thank you so much for your service on Parks Board. We miss you already. And at some point there'll be a vacancy and we hope you're back on. Okay, Rachel, how about roll call?
Richard Swarthout.
Here.
Scott Reese.
Here.
Sarah McLean. Here. Dan Mulder. Here. Maggie Kloss. Here. Sophia for fun. Here. Jamie Nelke. Here. And David Winter.
Here.
Awesome.
Great, we have a quorum.
Woo.
Let's see, minutes from our last December 10th meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at them. Any comments, corrections? Motions?
Approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion passes, meetings are approved, or minutes are approved. Let's see, next, board communications, Rachel, left a copy of a letter for all of us.
Hello. Yeah.
And,
Yeah, so this is an email I actually received today. You see the date. It's from Ashley O'Reilly. And really the main concern she wanted me to pass along to the Parks Board was, how do we know how many locals are actually using the services? I'm assuming like our parks, our programs, like how we keep track of that. And then also, how do we know locals want the services? So basically looking back at like past surveys, talking to people, things like that. So things to keep in mind. And we had an email chain kind of going back and forth for a little bit of the day.
I think she's gonna find that a lot of her questions will be
Yeah.
answered in our meeting tonight too about projects and.
Yeah, and I advised her that some of them needed to go to council, because I just couldn't answer them, or to come to a Parks Board meeting for some of her concerns, and she was open to that, so. But just for you guys to read over and know that those are questions that some of the public has. I think our survey can answer that as well. Yeah,
Who's actually O'Reilly?
I've never met her in person, so I can't say
It's
that.
Spring Street, kind of down and around the corner from me. Any other board communications, Rachel?
No.
Great. Do we have any public comments from the folks on Zoom? These would be comments not related to something that's on the agenda. So raise your hand. And there'll be chances later as we discuss things, get input as well. Okay, discussion items. We've got a lot to go over today, kind of beginning of the year, new business. And Rachel, would you like to start us off with the orientation package?
I'd love to. Most of you are returning, so I'm kind of gonna breeze through this. So if you have questions, stop me. What is the purpose of the Parks Board? We're an advisory board to advise council and the director about recreational programs and facilities from the enjoyment of all citizens. It promotes recreational programs, recommends planning and operating policies for city parks. You also have a really big involvement in our master plan, our 5-year master plan, and that comes along. So what does this look like? So our meetings are the second Tuesday of every month, 5:30 p.m. at the City Hall. You all are 2-year terms. It's an 8-member board, with the 8th member being a student representative, so a non-voting member, still equally as important. Sophia. Sorry, what happened here? Oh, yeah.
Meeting's over.
Yeah,
Meeting's
you
over.
You thought it was gonna be fast.
I know. And the Parks Director will act always as secretary. meeting, I do the minutes. What do the Parks Board members do? Hopefully attend all the meetings. Assist Parks Service Management at city parks events, playgrounds and green space. Assist the director with the 5-year park plan and guide development of recreation park facilities and programs. The Open Meetings Act, I think we're all really well aware that our quorum would be 4 members. You can meet socially, but you cannot meet as 4 members and discuss any park topics. That goes for in-person, text, email, anything or the other.
Rachel, it might be a
Yeah.
good time to point out about committee rules. We looked into this a little bit and so most of our committees are smaller, but if we have to keep it to under 4, otherwise if it's a quorum, we have to public notice it.
Yeah, so that's why committees are made like that with a non-quorum, so then we don't have to post. And if for any reason we do, we just post it like a regular, but then that would be a meeting, so. We post all of our agendas at the Harbor Market. We post 2 at City Hall and at the post office. We also put them on Facebook, social media, and on the website as well, the entire packet. That is what the City of Harbor Springs does. We go above and beyond the Open Meetings Act. The board can meet in closed session for specific reasons. We usually, Parks Board, we're not usually going to meet in a closed session, but just in case, personnel issues, negotiation related to collective bargaining, a purchase or lease of a real property, or consult with attorney regarding trial settlement strategy. That's mostly for counsel that would be doing that. Must be any decisions though have to be made in an open session. So you can discuss in closed, have to make decisions. No one can be excluded from a public meeting except for a breach of the peace at that specific meeting. The board cannot require people to sign in to attend the meeting. The board can establish rules for public comment. We're pretty loose on it, but in general, for city policy, it's 3 minutes for public comment. We already pretty much would do this. A quorum would be 4-7. A member who has a conflict of interest cannot be counted as part of the quorum for that particular issue. A motion must be made by 1 member and supported by another member before holding a vote. Abstaining to vote from a matter which a member does not have a conflict of interest has the same effect as a no vote. A tie vote means a motion has failed. No proxy voting. And roll call votes are recommended for matters of significance, such as large contracts and ordinance. We rarely take roll call votes. Oh, I think another thing that's on here as well is if you're on Zoom, you can participate in discussion, but you cannot vote. The city structure, I won't bore you with the city structure, but it basically goes mayor, city council, city manager, all of the boards. I report directly to the city manager. Nathan Sterling, our maintenance, reports directly to me, like Crystal. And then we have City of Harbor Springs Park and Recreation Facebook and Instagram page, thanks to Maggie. Woo! Wow. And those are primarily managed by myself. So any questions on orientation? It's all pretty standard.
Great. Do you want to do officer appointments as next on the agenda, or should we do meeting dates first?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do officer appointments. Before we start nominating, let's have a quick show of hands who might be interested in being chair this year. Everybody sits on hands.
I'm not allowed.
Right, Danny has indicated that he would be willing to do it.
But only if you're not doing it. That's the deal.
Okay.
So,
I'm good either way, so I'm just gonna sit back and let's see how the nominations go.
is your hand up? I can't tell.
I'd like to nominate Dana, as chair, seeing that some background experiences and you've been guiding us, for quite some time. That being said, and not the vice chair, if Danny wants to take that, role.
Okay, we have a motion on the table. Is there?
I second that.
Okay. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, motion passes. Let's move on to vice chair.
I'll nominate Danny as vice chair.
Okay,
I'll second.
okay, great. All those in favor, please say aye.
I,
Opposed? Okay, motion passes. We have a chair and a vice chair for this year. Perfect, and I think this could set things up nicely for the following year. My term is up in December, and I think there might be some folks that, in council that might be ready to get rid of molders. We'll see what happens.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, but yeah. Okay, great, thank you all. Okay, let's move on to meeting dates for 2025.
So these are meeting dates for 2025. The Parks Board would like to keep them on the second Tuesday of every month. That is preferable for staff. 5:30 is also preferable for staff. We have to change our March 11th date, however, the board of review will be in this room. So we can either A, move it earlier in the day. Be way earlier in the day. No, yeah, people are working. Wednesday.
This is just a question, but
Yeah.
they can't move their meeting.
No, board of review holds precedent over us. A firm board, so they're not, that's like a whole day thing, so they would have to
We're
really
pretty serious for two.
have.
we could move to March 18th, 5:30.
Rachel's got her
I can't.
Little Traverse.
What's the
leadership.
date you got?
Could we do the 10th or 12th?
We could do the 10th, we can't do the 12th for the zoning board of appeals. We could do the 13th,
I can't be there the 13th.
Would we, is there another location we could do it? Could we do it at Kiwanis? Could we set Zoom up there?
no,
What about the,
Why
does
not?
the town work for everybody?
But
What day of
can't
the
you
week
do a
is
Wi-Fi
13th?
hotspot?
but I don't know how, I can't speak to that, that'd be a Victor question. I don't know
Or
how
we
would
could
feel
do it
about
at Irish or at, they've been very generous about that.
I feel like we should stick to City Hall though, because people are familiar with having meetings here. I feel like just changing the date would be a
I think
better
it's
option.
super far in advance, so changing the
Because
date.
we
would
might
be-
need, miss some people coming to hear the meeting.
So the,
There's two on Zoom right now.
Work for us
does the 10th work for people? That's there.
at the same time, like.
Yeah, 5:30 on the 10th.
Is there a council meeting?
Nope.
We're doing
Yeah,
March
it's-
10th.
Yeah.
The 21st is our last day of school. So then it's the, no, March.
Oh,
So like that last week in March is all spring break.
Oh,
What day of the week?
We
is
just
that?
have a show of hands, is that for everybody that's the 10th? Okay,
It's good.
so the 10th at 5:30.
That's good.
Yep. All the other dates look good.
And Rachel, you can send that out when you're notice, right?
Yeah.
Great. And Fest starts that night. Okay, so then let's see, do we need a motion then, Rachel, to approve the adjusted calendar with the March date change?
I make the motion to adjust our March meeting to March 10th at 5:30 p.m.
On the table. Second,
Second.
okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, next up is committee appointments, and there's been three committees swirling around. We had program committee that Jamie and Sarah and Maggie worked on last year. And it's just been great. It's taken a huge everybody else, and you guys have done a great job. We also, at our last meeting, discussed having a funding committee because that's going to be a big push for this year.
And we don't
And,
need a survey committee anymore, right?
no, we're talking about maybe calling that like, public outreach, was it, Rachel? But we're trying to think of what we have. Like, I think the following year when we're starting to look into the master plan, I think it would be important. And we can start it up at any time. We don't need to do anything in the bylaws about committees. We found that out too. But I think we are gonna have a vote, right, Rachel, to establish those two committees for 25.
That's members.
Okay, so with the two committees, what would people like to be on for this? It's not, I guess, 100% required. So,
I'd be happy to continue. with
I'd like
programming.
to stay on the programming if
okay,
everybody's okay with that.
Jamie too.
You have to be on it.
Yeah, you have to
Chair
be
has
on
to be
committee.
I can't be a designee.
Chairs to be on every committee.
Okey dokey. And 4 would be quorum. Okay, then if we're gonna rest the public outreach committee for this year, then the only other one would be funding committee. Anybody interested in that?
I would be interested in that.
Okay,
Can't do.
you too? Okay. And I guess I'm on it too. Okey doke. Great, then we need a motion to approve the 2 committees and on programming, we named Sarah, Maggie, and Dana. On funding, we named Janie, Danny, and Dana. With
I would
motion,
make a motion to approve of a fundraising and a programs committee with those members.
okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. All right. Let's see, first board calendar. So this was something we started last year, just to keep us on track of like what we have to remember to do in each month. Those would be the annual discussion items, and then just kind of a general map a few months ahead of what we think we might be working on. So this is the getting started meeting, obviously, and the project matrix is a big part of that. And then we thought we might add in the Parks Corner articles just so we can stay on track with that, not be scrambling last minute. What are we going to do? I had started one on Shea Park last year when we thought it was going to have to be sooner when the locomotive was actually going to go in. So that's partially done. If you guys think that's good to continue as our next one, we can, or if anybody has any other ideas, I don't think there's any firm order.
I'm just gonna ask, how often does that come out?
Every other month.
And I'm happy to proofread and go
Okay.
over any articles that are written.
That would be
It
wonderful.
won't for Rachel, but
Okay.
it's my
So-
wheelhouse.
So our first, let's see, so our next time we'll run one is in February. Tree board's doing January. So I'll get that over to you and we can go from there. And Rachel, where we stand with Shea Park right now is they approved going for engineering drawings. They haven't started yet, but they
Yes,
will.
so they approved to move forward with the engineering and the drawings. They have not approved spending of the funds. So it's in our capital outlay. When we go to bid, that'll have to go back to council for approval. So we're waiting on Beck and Rader for those, that engineering and drawings.
So we could look at this 2 ways. We could say, let's wait and find out if the city wants to fund Shea Park.
I actually asked Beck and Rader for a proposal before they just went ahead and did the engineering, so we had a price. I just wanted to know how much it would be before they got started. So I should get that back, like an estimate, before they move forward with that.
And I think we've discussed, I don't personally feel that this is one that absolutely needs engineering drawings. It's very, very simple.
Planning commission. and also get rid of them.
Okay. So the choice would be to get the public pumped up about it, and then when we do go to council for the money, then can say we've got great support. The other choice would be to wait until we find out if it's funded before we use up one of our articles. Thoughts on that discussion?
When's the train supposed to arrive? There's
This spring,
This spring.
yeah.
Nice if those 2 things could kind of
Dovetail.
mash up.
Yeah,
I
so
mean, more
maybe
than the
February, yeah, that's a good
drawing,
point.
but
Maybe February is a little early. We might want to do something else.
if spring, I mean, if it's April. And that's when the train arrives, it would be kind of cool to sort of talk about that, right? Cause that'll be the big deal.
So maybe move it to April.
Maybe so.
And any other ideas then for February?
I think, I mean, since we don't we can do a Kiwanis update, but we don't really have enough. So I would say at our last programming meeting, we talked about adding some more programs in the spring and the summer, like some more little like projects and stuff. So maybe we could just,
Have we done an article on programming?
I don't think so. So we could highlight the upcoming sledding and some more.
We can post all of our events. We have all the dates for 2025, so we can post them.
Yeah, and then please let us know what else would be you'd like to see. Okay, so then we're looking at February will be programming. And then April will be maybe shake.
So I'll send that to Maggie, I'll write it up and
Okay.
send it your way.
And you have all the dates on the Google calendar, so we're all
Yeah,
set.
the only one I changed was when Jamie brought up the car show.
Oh, you're
The only one I switched.
Do we have a volunteer to write the programming article?
She just volunteers.
Oh, you did, I'm sorry.
And I said,
I was not paying attention.
It might be good to, as part of that article, to really highlight, like, this weekend at the,
it was so fun.
it was awesome, guys. It was so fun.
Yeah.
There were at least 100+ kids out there
was
sledding. Both molders were slinging like food in the hut, like it was just a ton of fun, and it was a great example of like people using the park and really enjoying themselves. It was about as wholesome as you could get, like Norman Rockwell level.
We've talked so many times about a big role, and Jamie said this, in part should be to bring people together,
Mhm.
bring the community together. And
I think it's a good one, and maybe as part of that conversation, answer some of these, questions about how many people used the park last year and for what, because you have the numbers, but you could really, maybe that's a way to dovetail into the programming, because it was such a cool time. I mean,
it was.
it was great.
Yeah, it was good.
I did some informal questioning, like before you get your hot chocolate, where are you from? No,
Please take this survey before you.
and there were a number from Petoskey, but there were a number from Harbor Springs too, so that's good. And then I think Rachel and I were talking, maybe at the next one, we'll have like a little survey sheet, or would it be more fun if we had like a easel board where you could tick off where you're from, or,
I liked the idea, I think Sarah brought it up, that at the next one, have a board out that says our next sledding and s'mores is February, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah, so people know, because my kids left like, can we go again? Can we go again?
Could we also say in there, tell us where you're from?
Great, sure.
If you put a whiteboard out, volunteer and hand it to markers as kids walk in, kids. will put their phone.
Do we have a whiteboard, Rachel?
Can find a whiteboard.
Is 4 the staple number of volunteers you want for all of them?
Yeah. 3 to 4 is more than enough.
Yeah, the guys that were there were great. And they got kind of a rough duty. They were downhill loading people.
Oh, I was wondering what volunteers were.
Oh, that was perfect, because otherwise the bottom of the hill was like a net.
Yeah,
When they got down there, they were doing a great job.
we're gonna need a second wagon.
I know.
Mhm.
Okay, Nate, is that far enough to go out then on Parks Corner articles? And we can get more like, maybe at some point, once we know more about funding, it might be an interesting one. Yep. I don't think there's anything else. What's that?
Nick will be at our February meeting.
Yes.
We'll lay down the law.
Yeah, for better or for worse.
Do we need to talk about anything else on the calendar?
I don't
Does everybody agree to it? I don't think we need a.
I think it
vote or
looks good. The only thing
Yeah.
is just for Rachel to plug in some of those programming ideas into there. As far as planning, right?
Oh, you guys have dates for things now.
Yeah,
we have all the dates.
Yep, and I added some awesome.
Might be fun, Rachel. I like how you used a different color ink for Parks Corner. You could use another color ink for programming. And then the rest is kind of planning stuff. Cool. Great. Okay, then shall we move on to, we talked about Parks Corner articles. This is good. Okay, now this is what might be a little bit more involved. So the matrix. So if everybody to pull up the matrix or pull out where they can get.
I actually
Mhm.
saved, the only thing that has changed on this version I'm about to bring up is I highlighted the CIPs as a different color. Only thing that's different.
What color are the CIPs?
I think they're orange. I think they're orange.
I'd like to just do a little introduction to you guys probably saw in the packet, towards the end, there's something called the Parks Project Scoring Guide.
Mhm.
So, this is based off what this group uses to score the CIP projects that come in from all of the departments. And it gives things a little less subjectivity and a little bit more objectivity. So just to run through this really quick, so health, safety, welfare, 4 points, for projects have. Remedies an existing deficiency. Conforms to an adopted plan or policy. Contributes to long-term needs of the community. The service area, how big is the service area? The larger area gets more points. Has something for all age groups, that's something out of the guidelines. Addresses open space and flexibility needs for that part, more points for flexible open space. And priority level, more points. This is subjective for things that we see are higher priority. So this year, we combined our regular projects from the project matrix, which are the smaller ones. Is it 10,000 and below, Rachel?
Yeah.
And then we also added in the CIP projects because we thought it would be useful to have like a priority listing of all of them mixed together. We might find out that maybe some of the smaller ones are more important than the really big ones. So we're going to try that this year. And then on this project scoring guide, Victor had a little more elaborate scorekeeping, like where on each project, you had to score each of these 8 components. So to me, that seems a little like more than for our purposes what we need, but just to keep these things in mind when you're saying 1 is the highest, 2 is medium, 3 is the lowest, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So are people in favor of keeping a simpler version for now? Okay.
Can we add to the top where it has the little description of what is on there that it does include the CIP?
Yeah,
That's a good idea, yep. Include CIPs.
projects included in the matrix include those related to community awareness, improvement, yeah, okay. I think that's because we changed it this year. I'll
Yeah,
change
that's fine. I just
that.
think
Yeah,
that
I'll
that
change
should-
that back. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's right.
no worries.
Then where we go from this, Danny, is we'll have points for each project that each of us gives our points, then Rachel tallies them and divides it out to come out with average points. And then we end up with kind of a tiered high, medium, low priority list. That goes on to a graphic then that we can give out to the public.
Is there any way that it sort of indicates like sort of when on the time horizon you're thinking? Is-
Anything that's usually within reason a 1 has been completed. If it's a 1, we work really hard within that summer, because these are smaller projects to have it completed. You can see the ones that are green.
Yeah.
Were 1s. Recycling was a 1, and then you go down, you'll see more that were completed that were 1.
Okay. Okay.
So
Yeah.
ideally, it's within this season. We would get to those first.
There could be more information in the project category or progress category. And the CIPs are noted for which year they're in.
If there's anything that we think that we want to add, or do you want us to
Yeah.
talk about that now?
Yeah.
Or when,
And we like maybe at the end, we'll go through everything, or maybe like first section, if there's something. But first section, we'll just, when I go through, I'll add, if an add or a delete even
okay,
off, because there might be some of those as well.
yeah.
Are you ready?
So I think we'll go clockwise, starting with Dick like we always do. So high being the highest priority.
Can I do it? Just 'cause I'm gonna tell you it.
Please.
Now, okay. We're gonna start with system-wide projects. Waterfront geese control. Last year it was rated a 1.2.
1,
Scott?
1,
Sarah?
One.
One. Sophia? 1.
1,
One.
Okay. Recycling receptacles in all of our major parks, be completed. That was a 1 last year. Review environmental best practices for parks maintenance.
one,
One. Scott,
One,
Sarah,
One.
Brianna, Maggie.
One.
One,
Have an annual safety maintenance and ADA compliant checklist for each park.
one,
two,
One.
can't all be ones.
One,
One.
One.
one,
Standardized signage. Dick,
one,
Scott,
Two,
I forgot what's in there, sorry. Sarah, Emma,
Two.
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 We're riding the train,
Two.
okay.
You won't have to do a hard nap.
Concrete pads on downtown benches.
one,
we didn't do some of that, Rachel, or?
We did some of them, but they're still up for grabs.
two,
Three.
Three,
Three.
great.
Correct. Bike racks, painting and purchasing a couple new that was completed, but we can continue. I can leave that on there if you want to order a couple more. Or I can remove it. This is where we can talk about what we want to take off and remove.
The bike repair station. Is that under system wide?
that's further down, I
It's
think.
Was already,
further-
I'm sorry.
Further down, yeah.
Okay, never mind. I
But
see
it's
it now.
somewhere on here, and if it's not, I'll make a note.
It's see that.
So the things is staff that we can remove would be recycling receptacles at our major parks. And then in a few years, if we decide we need more, or like DDA ends up, they would do it downtown, that would be us. Bike racks, painting, purchasing a couple new. In my opinion, we could take off, I feel like that's fairly standard practice.
I agree.
And it can be brought up year to year.
We have been discussing taking all these green ones that are coming off each year
Yeah.
and having like a master sheet so we can say,
that's
here
a good
are all the things we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have Team Dan online, I'm sure we can find all of the projects. So do we feel comfortable going down to community outreach?
I
Yeah.
think that I would like to see it could be like the scoring system at the bottom,
Yeah.
but it would be nice to take all of the aspects of like planning something that are in our master plan and put it into like an individual project matrix. So every time we're planning like a master plan for like Shea Park, we make sure we're hitting all of the things that are important in our master plan.
The checklist.
Yeah.
I think I'm following. I think I just missed
We could
something.
make it a project to come up with the checklist, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that when we're
You
looking
think
at
every
these
park-
different master plans
Yeah.
for the parks, we should have. a
Oh, yeah,
checklist
yeah, sorry, yeah, now I'm on the same page, okay,
to
yeah,
Have like a standard.
yeah.
So that would be under
Idea.
community-wide create checklist.
I think it would be under system wide because it would be something you would use for every park.
Just to make sure we're following the master plans.
So to
Yeah.
add that is like a system.
Yeah, and so that we're not missing anything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, one,
what's the question? Should we add the master plan?
I think it's adding, like individual,
Creating a master plan. for
Creating a
every park.
project matrix
Yeah,
for
what?
each individual
Yeah.
project.
I read the master plan today. What?
One,
One.
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 good idea.
Mhm.
everyone was one. Community outreach, social media outlets and website.
one,
One,
One.
One.
Okay,
One.
One,
so I'll ask again, that's fine. Annual Parks Workday, Dick.
one,
Annual parks work.
two,
Two.
Two.
One.
two,
Develop surveys for all park users for programming and park amenity needs.
Which I feel that like that's repetitive of the survey we just did. I think you could take that out.
I agree.
I was gonna say we could probably take out social media outlets, website as well, because I'm not really sure what that means anymore.
Well, I mean, I think it's still important and we just keep doing
Yeah.
it.
and
but-
keeping it updated.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
I
I
don't-
think that the website could use a little
Zhuzhing.
upgrading. Yeah, just a little fluff add maybe more pictures of programs or a description of all the new and fun stuff.
I think we have some talent, on the board. Yeah.
Yeah, you're better at social media than I am.
Do the Parks Corner ones go somewhere too? Do those articles go somewhere?
They're on the website.
Okay, all right. So well, there shows. That's what I know.
Maybe instead of, I can't see it anymore, that bottom one that you
Yeah.
mentioned, maybe we could do more surveys at events to get a little feedback, even if it is included in like the dry erase board, like tell the kids to write something like, are you having fun or?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah. I
want
like
something
that.
different?
Yeah,
Yeah, so like some more, some small targeted surveys at events or at
yeah,
other places. where
or
people
even like,
gather.
how did you hear about this?
So, yeah, so why don't we just call that small targeted surveys instead of,
Okay.
Dick,
One.
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 One,
Perfect.
So back to the Parks Corner, I don't mind seeing that as a community outreach, its own line item, because I think it is really important.
that makes
But
sense.
is that, I mean, is that considered a project that we have to?
That's
Worded,
included in
is
my
that,
mind.
is that a?
Well, it's an ongoing project, but we do have that kind of stuff on like use control and Marina Parks grass. So I think we could have it.
I think it'd be good to share those articles on the Facebook page on our, because so many people are like, I saw that Kiwanis is open, so a lot of people are looking at our social media pages that may not know about our Parks Corner articles.
I also think that maybe we could add something like collaborate with find a new group to collaborate with, like maybe this year we focus on doing more with the school. Even if it's just going to the school board and updating them like we do council of what's going on.
Okay, so would that be collaborate with stakeholders maybe, or,
Yeah,
I just assume that's a one.
Yeah.
yeah.
and are we saying Parks Corner is one across the board as well?
Or do we need to add Parks Corner?
Like, I was gonna even suggest we take the marina grass off, like, that's just standard, we do that every year, we do the grass, I
But
mean, that's,
that's a staff, like the grass is a staff thing versus like park.
that's what I'm saying, like, that's kind of
Yeah,
in our procedure, in our spring procedure, Lucas and I know to reach out. We can keep it on, I'm just saying, it's not really a project.
It hurts to have it on, like, if somebody to look at this, they're saying, oh, they've got a bunch of stuff covered under this.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry, just for clarification, this is for projects, correct? This is not for ongoing.
my issue with
routine-
keeping the marina grass on there is to play devil's advocate, kind of what Dan just said, is people are gonna ask why we don't do that to all of our, because we've had some complaints about what the grass
Yeah.
looks like in other parks, and we don't spend the money. So
Right.
that's a question that
We don't
open
say trim the
ourselves to.
bushes and stuff,
Correct.
other stuff along those.
People are like, why don't you treat the grass, why don't you treat the grass at Upper Shea Scenic, like, kind of open a door there. But we've been doing the grass, just so you know, Dan, Marina Park, because it was the tennis courts. And that, you could tell, kind of used to be able to like tell what the outline was, but you can't really now, I don't personally think it looks a lot nicer. But that's why we do a special treatment down there, Dan's green side up.
And you know what, where that will go under is under system-wide annual safety maintenance and ADA compliance checks. So we could put the grass under there.
But I did know to put the Parks Corner on the Facebook page. I think Maggie did recommend that.
So are these projects that we're listing on
It's
here, are these
projects.
ongoing
Sorry, yes,
routine?
projects.
We're just focused on.
Yeah, I think we had them as project before because they weren't routine, but I would think at some point, some of these have become routine. And they're just part of what we do, so I would consider them completed, ongoing.
I think
but
it's also a
completed.
somewhat of a PR piece, potentially.
Now, where do you close the door?
Hmm?
Or where do you close the
Well,
door?
this is sort of where we want to spend our
I
efforts.
think once you establish like you said, once you establish that this is just what we do, like it kind of
Like
is
recycling technically is
completed.
ongoing, but we have the receptacles, we're in that process, we're doing it, technically, all of this is ongoing. You think
So
about
take Parks Corner off and see what most people think.
it.
Yeah, I just think that falls into.
Yeah.
Into, can you change social media?
But also
outlets,
having that
websites
completed list
to-
will be helpful. we could post the completed list, which will have all those things.
Mhm.
Once we
That's
do
true.
that, so that will show that, that'll be our PR, is like what we completed and why it's not on this
That's
list
a great
anymore.
idea.
Did we have something after that that starts with a COLL? Okay.
After, what are you asking?
Did you say something else?
Oh,
Jen?
yeah, I said that we should continue to collaborate with other organizations.
Okay, so collaboration.
Yeah.
So COLL, there
I was
you
like,
go.
That is a one across the board,
Yeah.
so we'll
Yes.
add that. We feel comfortable moving on to funding?
Yeah.
Yes. Um. Funding plan for parks, Dick,
One.
One.
Sarah,
One.
Deanna,
One.
Peggy.
One.
One.
Perfect. Survey and update, township participation. Consider that completed.
I mean, but is it?
I don't, I feel like.
But Nick's gonna talk about everything.
We've updated,
Nick has spoken to both townships
okay, so it's
a
completed.
few
we wanna get an
times,
update.
so yeah, you will.
Are they considering it?
No. And Friends of the Park Group.
So my feeling on that, is that falls under a funding plan.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So we could take that off for right now.
Okay.
I feel like the Friends of the Park Group is more so under the community outreach.
Yeah, it could be that too. It could be a little bit of both.
Well, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
It is it kind of like the,
Is it a volunteer
like
group or is it
they
a
may
fundraiser?
start something. at
Friends of the
foundation.
Park Group, according to like, I think it's on the city website already, is like a group of volunteers that,
We have it as a volunteer group,
Yeah.
pretty much. We're like, we post like when we do
Communities
Marina
use
Park.
it as
Some
fundraising.
have it as a board, like a Friends of the Park board, and they do fundraising, things like that for parks. So it looks different in different communities. Ours is volunteer. That's what I have it. And then I also, I think on that same page is like if people want to donate a bench or like a table, like our needs kind of list. But that can still be
Yeah,
something to
that-
look at in funding and public outreach on how we want to mold that in the future, or if we want to change that.
if we wanna use it more.
Correct, yeah.
So leave it on for now, not move it to completed.
I'll find a way to put it in there somewhere, yeah. It's not completed, whether it goes under funding or public outreach, it can be both. There are no rules, it's our list.
Dick, what say you?
What are we actually voting on here, or scoring?
The Friends of the Park Group, but I think
One.
we're gonna keep it on, so one,
One.
two.
Two.
Three.
Two.
We had 3 last year, by the way.
Board Park,
So just tables and benches for right now.
yeah, tables and benches,
Can I introduce a concept? We have tables and benches under a number of parks. This is Sophia, this is you. What do you think about, Northville High School, I don't know if it's Honor Society or Key Club, doing a fundraiser for a table or a bench? You think that would be something that could be done?
I think this year we have a really full schedule. I could bring it to my advisor. 'Cause we're already doing a environmental fundraiser at the Lyric in a couple of months. I think to actually fundraise money, the Key Club has to also partner with the Kiwanis, that they're jumping at projects right now.
Like pizza sales or what other cake sales, car washes?
We could, yeah, usually we'll
Why'd you think about it? Just a thought.
just, you said fundraising for a bench and for.
Well, or not, Fort wouldn't be my first choice, like maybe the beach or,
so I would move, staff recommendation would be to move this to system-wide projects, because there are multiple parks that need this. And then kind of what Jamie said, when we go through our master plan of each individual park, we can assess
that's a good idea.
what, especially since Fort Park's gonna be getting some updates. So we don't really want to jump on any changes.
I think that makes sense. And then also moving then that funding question, or how do we fund those sorts of things so that we're talking about funding, a funding plan
Yeah,
being a little more strategic and how do we get,
Yeah.
where did these come from? Are they gifts from the class of 2025? Are they, in memoriam kind of thing? Other people do that? Are there, ways to sort of structure that?
Different
that
strategy than.
difference?
projects.
Right, yeah.
I have another thought that I meant in system-wide projects. I feel like it would be nice, and maybe you already have this, but whenever we talk about a particular park, if there was like a master list of like, a couple years ago, you guys went around and you visited all the parks. If that was all in like one document and every time we went, just so that all of those ideas or those thoughts aren't getting left behind as the board changes.
If you look at the Petoskey Parks and Rec master plan, they've got a page on each park, which was really nice to look at, so.
Yeah,
We have in the master plan, not a whole page, but, just a blurb.
Format, yeah.
But not the results of our surveys.
Right,
We
so-
need a park survey document, and then we need a completed,
So I
document.
won't remove it, I will move that to certified.
Yeah. So we're giving you numbers on system wide right now, not versus a specific park, correct?
Yeah, branding tables of benefits, how
We're not
just
looking
in
for-
general,
Yeah.
yeah, just in general.
One,
Scott,
Two.
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 perfect.
Backwards, but if I were to bring it to my advisor, how much is a bench?
Bench is $2,500.
Okay.
No, that sounds ridiculous. That's the truth. It's probably low.
Good question.
Next is Jean Jardine, Deer Park, and the stadium. Randy tables and benches, been there. I'm just gonna say instead of a concert, just utilizing the stadium for a park event. I don't think we need to pin it to a concert necessarily if we didn't have to. I think we can leave it more open-ended than that, in my opinion, but I'll leave that up to you guys.
I think that's what is in our master plan, is just finding other uses for that.
Yeah, I just feel like if it ends up being a concert, that's great, but then it just kind of holds you back from anything else you could think of.
Yeah, I think
I think just to that point though, Jamie, I don't think we need to follow our master plan because at some point we're gonna wanna update it.
But you still have to stick to your master plan when you're planning all of this stuff.
For me,
It's still the guiding principle of, like, this to me is kind of taking the things that we put in our master plan and making sure we're sticking to it.
Mhm.
Once we
But
update it,
as,
then things
you know,
can
like,
change.
I don't think we have to do the same thing for 5 years. I think like if we decide partway through, maybe that's not a number one for us. Maybe we wanna change it in the next master.
But
That's
you
what I'm
still
saying. I
have to
think we
stick
just
to your
have-
master plan for the time being.
so just stating Ottawa Stadium
Yeah,
events, got it.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts at all to open it up to other things. I mean, we could do a field day there, we could do, I mean, we put our heads together, we could do, I'm just saying, like, we don't have to hold ourselves to a concert.
yeah.
So I think that might change how we prioritize it is all. So. Where was I, sorry?
Ottawa Stadium program.
Out in same program. Okay,
three,
Two.
Two.
Great.
two.
Three.
Two.
sweet.
Is the nature thing we talked about on the CIP?
Yeah, but I think I put that down.
Okay, I just didn't know, because that's kind of,
Maybe I didn't.
That
have it
area.
all. I didn't even have it. It's on here. I'll
You have
put it.
that nature scape, yeah.
Okay. Sorry. No. Kiwanis. Moving right along. Dick, trail disc golf signage, at Kiwanis.
one,
One. Scott,
One.
Sarah,
One.
Anna.
One.
one,
One.
Good, that's happening. Building improvement CIP 2025, none of you better not say one.
I mean, you just put one, so yes.
Yeah. But let's rank it because council's gonna wanna see it, so. go ahead. Two,
One.
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 one,
One.
Kiwanis playground updates,
one,
Three.
1,
2,
1,
2, 3.
2.
Perfect. Anything to add or take away, Juanis?
Well, what about this ice rink thing maybe reemerging? You know, there's a lot of communities around, like Petoskey's looking at it now, East Jordan's putting one in.
but do you think we should add it
I
to
think
this
we
when
should
we already
wait
have
till-
the huge projects that Kiwanis?
I think we should wait till it's in the CIP.
Okay,
Let's go through phase 1 of Juanis first. Coastplat and skate park. Oh, here's your bike fix station, Sarah. Thanks, I knew it was on there
one for
somewhere.
everybody.
Bike fix station, Dick,
One.
one, Scott,
1,
1,
one.
1.
Skate park window, that's completed, everything else is completed. Does anyone have anything to add or take away to the skate park, Coastal? That'd be the pickleball, the playground. The Little League fields, we own the property, so
Do we feel like we fixed the playground up as much as we want to talk about right now?
as much as I would like to talk about right now, but.
Have there been any other people bringing up adding more pickleball courts up there? 'Cause I know we've gone back and forth with that.
Pickleball players who put in 20 courts. I mean, it's just, it's a really popular sport.
I think we have to remember that anything
But,
over a certain amount.
Yeah.
is CIP and it's not in our CIP.
Yeah.
well, and it's also pickleball, unfortunately, I mean, when you see a weight, you're looking at July.
Right.
So to add and take up green space for something that may be really popular in July and August. So,
Well, that Mark that gives lessons there, he says we absolutely do not need.
yeah, he's there quite a
Yeah.
bit,
Oh,
and
good.
he's noticed a couple weights, but it was 4th of July week. Perfect. Depends on the app.
The walkway at Cosequat, I know that's been brought up, but that would be a capital improvement, correct? That's not a.
Yeah, I have that under harbor view separately, even though it should technically probably be under this, it's all the same property, so I can merge those together, actually, that's a good idea.
Good idea.
So nobody's confused, because a lot of people don't even know what harbor view is, so.
Are you saying you wanna take the lawn and landscaping stuff off of Marina Park now?
Marina Park. I mean, you guys, it's not up to me, but I foresee it is completed only because it's a standard thing we do every spring now.
I think that's gonna be in your maintenance plan and that's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we said, we can put it under completed, it's not really going away, we'll create another matrix, so people can see what we've done and things, but I think if it stays an ongoing, I don't know, it just seems kind of redundant, but.
I'd like to add to Marina Park, updating / repairing some of the games and toys up there, cause there's a lot of pieces missing and some are broken and we may be able to add some games.
Can we maybe add collaborating more with the DDA on the Marina Park because it's the only park in the DDA district and they have it in their TIF plan to partner with us for certain things?
Yeah, they are gonna work on Fall Fest, and talk to them about other, who painted those tables today, Scott?
Sue West,
Do you think she would be willing to come and spruce them up?
yes. And then what do you call that, the hopscotch? Jamie painted the hopscotch.
And would you be willing to come and touch it up this spring?
Yeah, if it needs it. The
Yeah,
last time I just like scrubbed them clean.
yeah, the checkerboards definitely need it.
I still, I have the paint,
Okay.
I have the paint, I don't know if it's still good, but I have it inside, it's been stored.
All right, so well, let's decide what we want to do with lawn rehabilitation.
I think we take that.
Take it out.
All right, and then long-term landscaping plan and shade option. Dick,
1,
Scott.
3,
2,
2.
2,
2.
3.
Perfect. Anything else to add or
Are
take
we
away?
adding
I got the
games
game
and
box.
toys or putting that somewhere else?
Say that again, sorry.
Games and toys, like fixing things up.
Yep, I have to add that, to revamp the game box. And we're doing it for the beach. I may talk about just making 2 of them, so they look exactly the same, so they're branded, so we don't have 2 game boxes. Look.
So ultimately, though, that could go under your maintenance plan. like
Yeah.
An annual update to toy boxes.
Yep. Moving on to Zoll Street, branding tables and benches. We've already ranked that. That was under system wide.
Where are we?
Zoll Street, We skipped Shea Park. Oh, did we? I did, sorry.
But I mean, we've already.
Yeah. Let's do the master plan phase one that we're gonna rank it. That's the walking path connecting a locomotive to the AHA that we brought to council. We talked about one.
One.
Perfect. And then, branding tables of vendors will go off in the system wide and we completed the master plan. Anything to add or take away from Shea Park? Dole Street Beach, branding,
Just to keep on our radar, maybe not to add this year, but maybe to have a master plan for every park.
yeah, that
So I
could go
don't
under
think this
system
is our,
wide.
this is our top one, but yeah.
You can add it under system wide though.
I feel
Remind
like
me.
that kind of goes in with what I said about having like.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
same idea. It's a good,
Yeah.
good plan to go.
Like
on.
at some point, we should have a discussion about what order we want to do those in.
Is there a toy thing at Zoll Street with extra tennis balls or?
No.
over like the dogs.
Yeah, take a toy, leave a toy. I don't know. Something like that.
I would be hesitant only because there was like a parvo outbreak last year.
Oh, see,
It was a
I'm
what?
not thinking about that.
Oh,
Just kidding.
Is there anything else on Soul Street we want to add, take away? Otherwise, it's just gonna go off the list.
I think you should leave it on the list so we don't overlook it.
Yeah, so we don't forget it.
Yeah.
So we're in City Beach and Green Space. Okay. So this would be the City Beach and then Upper Zorn as well. And together, playground install, that's done. Never want to talk about that again. Beach building improvements, it's CIP 2026,
Yes, one.
one.
one with 3 stars.
You know, whoever's used it, it's gonna be a one.
What?
Running to the shade options. Dick,
Yeah, one.
Two.
two.
2.
One.
Oh, where was I? Game box,
What?
a game box at the beach,
No.
one.
Is it gonna be more of a shelf or something or?
Yeah, I think Meg, somebody sent me a picture. You sent me a picture.
One.
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 By the
And
Trinity.
before you get too far into ordering stuff for game boxes, stop by your local toy store to see if they can get you some at cost kind of deal.
Oh, look at our hookups.
Look at that.
There you go.
And then the Zorn railing, east side near the boathouse, that was completed, we just added more rope. Yay, harbor view. Okay. We completed the brush takedown. Harbor view, master plan, CIP. That's like a pavilion there, walking path, basically working towards phasing out that park and what we wanna do.
Two.
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 One. Two.
Two.
My only question is before I forget to ask at the end, when I put in, like, for instance, Harbor View Master Plan CIP, when we haven't really like worked on too much, do you want it under each individual park? So we do remember that we need one for each individual park? Would that be nice
That
to
might be
keep
better.
all
I
the
think
parks
that might
there
be-
and not
yeah.
system wide? We're gonna have them on there anyway, so,
Well, that allows us to rank them individually.
yeah, exactly, so you know which ones to work on,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fine.
does that make sense? Okay.
That's good.
Or I just made that even.
My next question, though, I don't think every park is on this list.
No, we will, yeah, I'll finagle it so it adds all of them.
Okay.
And that way we can kind of keep track of where we are, what's been completed, move it over to the completed list.
Like you might want to put Indian Town as its own.
Correct, yeah,
category.
yeah, so it'll be a little longer, but not too
Yeah.
much. So other parks, it's just Shea Scenic, along Pine Street, right? Pine, yep. Tourist Park, that's along 119 across from the skate park, for those that don't know. Glen Drive access, Sneaky Beach, if you will. Washington Street access, and Indian Town there on Second Street.
I would say Indian Town should be its own.
Yep, that'll have to be its own. So we'll skip grand tables and benches, Indian Town Park Master Plan. That's the CIP for 2028.
Three.
Two.
One.
Two.
Three.
Two.
Okay, and then Wheelway Extension CIP 2026.
One,
That'd be the hard way coming under the spillway with the switchback for those that don't.
2026,
I know, it's, you know.
2,
Three.
Three.
3.
3.
May I say why three? Or we don't want to get too into it. But
Let me finish the last
We just-
one.
have had this discussion
I have
about
one.
lost opportunity
Boardwalk.
for $1 million. What else?
Yeah, we have.
Sorry. But Boardwalk Master Plan.
Let's do these last two and then we'll go back. Okay.
I had that too.
The Naturescape Spillway Stadium Green Space CIP 2029. I know this is not very clear. I understand. It's just think about if we want to do something with that green space by the spillway, all your ranking. Go Dick.
2,
3,
2.
2.
3.
3.
Can we
Did
move
we-
that where, like, by the Deer Park?
Yeah, move it up. Okay.
Does
Did we
the
vote on-
parking lot,
Yeah, that.
does the parking lot landscaping count? You did a nice job on that.
Yeah, the rain gardens. Okay, so now let's do the boardwalk.
3,
2,
2.
3.
1.
2.
Very interesting.
All right, so any questions or concerns with the project matrix?
I have a general question. Are we going to involve Nathan Sterling in our landscape plans?
As in like designing them or as in?
Advisory,
Yeah, so he's gonna sit on when we like plan gardens and stuff, but for the most part, it'll be like maintenance wise when we bring him in.
Yeah.
How we maintain them, because we wanna make sure when we plan things that we don't go out of his scope of work. Or, he has enough time to do it all. Right now, we have a lot of gardens and in the spring, he's gonna be really sprucing up Marina Park and fixing those beds. And the skate park, fixing those beds, like those are the top priorities this spring for him.
I think he can be very helpful.
Yeah, he's got a lot of experience in landscaping and he was an arborist for quite a while, so he's
That's
already
right.
like. Using chainsaws and axing up wood and doing all sorts of fun things.
I have a question. Oh, sorry.
You can go.
There's nothing under program and events,
No, sorry,
so is that something that we're saying then?
they're all top priority.
Yeah, I think I was gonna actually add to that too. I was wondering if maybe we should add in all the things that we've added this year. So then next year, when we're talking about it, we can all rank like what we want to continue to do or if
I
we
like
want to
that,
get rid of
yeah.
anything.
We could put our continuing list on that.
Yeah.
completed project. Yeah.
I just don't wanna lose sight of that recreation.
A lot of work to say.
Yeah, I think I didn't add them in because I just didn't know how we wanted to go.
Yeah,
about
that's a
adding
good
it in. So,
I think, and getting some event feedback on all of these will help us determine what's working and what's not.
yeah, absolutely. Cause surveying could go under that as well, programming that's like surveying post events, things like that. So I know we've talked about that quite a bit, so.
You almost can break down as your annual
Correct.
and then your ongoing, like ongoing.
Yeah. This list could be 8 pages long if we wanted it to be.
Still almost like that.
Perfect, so I will add,
Anything else on, anything
Nope.
else on project matrix? Shall we move on to, the parks reports?
oh, I forgot.
We probably, it's very similar to one we've done every year for the last 3 years.
Still looks good.
Yeah. Anything
Yeah,
to add or
I
delete?
think you guys did a good job. Pictures are nice.
does anybody want me to go through it? Is everybody pretty much?
I read it.
I don't think we need to go down.
Those lines.
Can you slowly go through it? I feel like there's something I maybe was,
Yeah,
I mean, you don't have to read it if you just leave it on. the
Yeah, that's
screen
fine,
for-
yeah.
If you wanna look.
full
at it.
disclosure though, I already sent it to Victor because he needs to do his council packet really, but yeah, okay.
That's fine
I
then.
will.
I
Or
think,
in the presentation, just text me and I can adjust.
will you just go down one?
Yeah,
I think the recycling should be, I think that you should say that that was a grant.
Oh,
Like
yeah, it's a good
specify.
idea, yeah, okay, yep. That's a good idea. Okay, I'll make that in my notes for the, yeah, we'll go through it, thank you. Anything else? With the parks report? Happy with it? So we
Yeah.
will do this, on Monday.
It was nice to have that big list of programming stuff this year too, I think. Okay, great. Let's move on then to public input and outreach process. This is something that we looked at last month, and Rachel has added some changes and
Yeah, so I added some of the changes, that we spoke about. I spoke to Jeff and verified, when it goes to, when CIPs go to planning commission, which is usually their November meeting. And then I added some of the stakeholders that Dana had listed at the meeting. And other than that, it was just a couple other here and there edits. And then we added, the scoring sheet for CIPs, just because we thought when it comes to that in the summer, it'd be helpful to know how people score them when it goes to that committee. We can kind of use this sheet ourselves to kind of guide us with what makes sense and what doesn't. And then I think at the last meeting, correct me if I'm wrong, we decided to just keep this as a simple checklist for every time we have an event or a project, we know exactly what we're doing. So each project or event will have a folder or a file. So we can say, if someone comes and they said, I didn't see a flyer, well, I can go to the checklist and then it's checked off, like I know we did a flyer, or I know we posted on social media. Just to kind of keep everything consistent.
I would ask that people go through the project scoring guides out and see if you think there's anything else that's important as a criteria that we look at for projects. And you don't have to do it right now, but send it to Rachel.
Are there any major edits to see for this time? It's just meant to be kind of a simple
I thought it was really good.
simple guideline. Yeah, attached to the public participation plan, that should cover everything.
Yeah.
I almost wonder sometimes if we could go through and score all of that before, like they do with the CIPs, and then you just bring it back with the score and then we can discuss it instead of having to go around for each item.
That'd be good.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that. Can do that.
All right, can we just,
Yeah, I
by
don't need a-
consensus say
yeah, we
that
don't
it's
need
good
to.
to go? All right. Great, that brings us then to, public comment on any agenda items.
Karen, I'm asking you to unmute.
Hello,
Can you hear us?
Karen. Karen, are you there?
You can use the chat as well if we can't hear you. I don't know why we wouldn't be able to hear him. I'm gonna ask. I'll do the director's report, but I'll keep this up. Yeah. To see if they wanna chime on it. Council meets January 20th. We will be presenting the parks report. We're also gonna be discussing the boardwalk, fundraising in general, so if anyone wants to spend their Monday night here, by all means. Park updates, staff is beginning, work with Pro Image for the disc golf signage. I'm gonna meet with them next week, walk the course. Talk about where we wanna start, what we want it to look like, things like that, and get an estimate on what it will cost.
Will we get to see the signs at some point?
Yeah, when we approve, he says, sorry, sound is not working. My question is it possible to add the cost of events to the project outreach checklist? Cost of events.
Like
Yeah,
a
like with the budget, like
recreation event.
Like how much does fall that cost?
Yeah,
how much does
On
more
page
is
34 of the pocket.
sledding cost, that's fine.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like a great idea.
Most of the costs are pretty low because they're donated.
Right.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Rocking Horse, and or, it's volunteers that are running.
But I think it would be good too if somebody wanted, like on our website, it says you can donate for things or sponsor
Yeah.
things, but it would be good if there was like a number so people knew.
So usually after our event, we do like a post overview, right, get
Yeah.
the budget, but it'd be nice, yeah, we could put it, cause it changes yearly on what it is as well, so, yep. Great, okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Yep, so Pro Image, that'll probably be a slower process. We're gonna see how many signs, gonna work with like costs and what we need to do. Cups is still planning on, doing the back 9 for pads, this spring. Nate is working on painting our additional 55-gallon trash barrels black because potentially when the DDA orders their new stuff, it'll be black. So they'll match. There's 65 of them. It's a great time. He's also, DPW from cutting down trees has some wood, so we got the chainsaw out and have been axing away, so we shouldn't need any wood for any events forever. And, staff, Nate and I worked on purging Kiwanis and donating what we can to repair for the building.
I think we need to save some of the retro decorations in there.
We have saved a lot of the decorations, yeah, some of the stuff that I know we could reuse, there's a lot of like Easter egg stuff, bunch of Easter stuff. There's like a whole bin for like St. Patty's Day, there's a whole bin that's like Hawaiian themed. Like, but some of the games, like the older stuff, cause it kind of ran as like a daycare there for a second, it looked like, we donated.
Would it make sense to have the program committee have their next meeting here?
Sure.
You can see
Yeah.
what's they have there.
So that's what we've been working on. And then, the programming and events committee met. It's about the 2025 dates. Oh my gosh, what is happening? The only thing that's different on here is we had to change the date because Jamie brought up a good point that it was the car show. What was it?
I don't know if, I think that it wasn't. I think it was just the backup date or something.
Okay.
The Dino Dig.
But then we did talk about,
But I think I noticed the swimming date was that. Anywho, yeah, but then I went back and the swimming date was that date of the car
Okay.
show. So you still caught it, you just didn't.
We were,
have to
Ronnie
count
back.
that.
we were
Yes.
changing
Yeah.
swimming and s'mores, I thought, to Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah, Tuesdays.
Well,
The
it's
street
Thursdays,
music.
they're just street music.
Yeah, so other than the swimming and s'mores, ignore those dates. Those are our set dates.
So these can all go in the parks
So-
calendar.
As far as the walking club, I could do it on a Tuesday, but not a Wednesday,
Okay.
and I'd be happy to
Write that
leave.
down.
we could just give people a map. too.
Kind of a nice community building thing, though.
Yeah.
I guess if people in as a group.
Yeah, it would be a group, but it wouldn't have to always like be led by Scotty. It could be any of us.
Yeah, I let them too. They're kind of nice, short and sweet.
And for the craft at Kiwanis, can we add bad art night?
Yes.
Yeah,
Do you want to elaborate on it?
My sister just went to a Parks and Rec event in Colorado and it was called Bad Art Night. And there's basically a table in the middle of the room that has art supplies, knickknacks, junk. And once everyone gets there, you have like 5 minutes to go collect all of the things that you want to use. And then you make a piece of really bad art. And then they did awards. And so like their mayor was there and their mayor got to pick like the mayor's choice award. And then they also had a bartender and they were encouraged to like tip the bartender more to get them to pick theirs. But I mean, it was hideous, but it's kind of more inclusive because you don't have to be good at it.
you could probably get all this.
They had a blast. Yeah, they had a
Clean
really
out the
good
art
time.
room at school.
Just one other piece, Rachel, I know this feels crazy, but lots of summer information is coming out for kids on things to do over the summer. So those dates for the youth pickleball clinic sooner rather than
Yeah, I'll
later.
reach out to Mark. See what he comes up with.
Looks good.
I'll reach out to Trevor about a disc golf clinic as well. Get a date down for that.
We discussed doing disc golf clinics.
Yeah, I have it in red. I gotta reach out to Trevor and see. or Mary, whomever is willing to do it, someone in that group will.
Looks good. Looks good. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and then Ice Fest with the DDA setting in the form to be, I know we talked about, Jamie also mentioned, we talked about a last day of school party, we don't have to talk about it tonight, but I did put it back on this list, we didn't forget about it. So,
Can we also at some point talk about maybe having a joint meeting with the DDA? It doesn't have to be around Ice Fest or Fall Fest in general, but I think when it comes to picking the color of trash cans or benches, I think that all of us should work together on that because we shouldn't have to do our trash cans a certain color just because that's what they decided.
well, they go downtown. They're downtown's trash cans.
Right, but I
Yeah.
think that when we pick things
Oh, we don't.
to
I don't think so.
to conform, I
Yeah,
think that we should make sure that we're all agreeing, like, they're not changing lights on one street that are in the park and we have to paint them because the DDA.
no, anything the
did.
DDA does, they come to Parks first, cause Lucas and I worked on branding the waterfront like a couple years ago.
Right,
So they're purchasing the furniture that we purchase.
Okay.
Yeah, so it should all, like the DDA should reflect what Parks does, not the opposite.
On the bigger
Yeah.
picture, though, we'd like to have a meeting with DDA,
Yeah.
so if we could reach out with, reach out and have one, that's good, great.
I think it'd be fun.
Joint meeting with the. Look like a cocktail next meeting.
I agree.
It's not recorded.
That is not an official.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they would like to discuss tonight? It was a good meeting, and we have a good start to the year, a good plan, trying to come to council on Monday.
You won't have a recap tomorrow. It'll be Friday,
Now, will the recap include the,
the project.
Great. And are you gonna have an opportunity to say some words, Rachel, or did they just hand it over to you?
What?
When, Victor said that he was gonna talk about our priorities at council.
I think Victor will probably handle that. We'll do our presentation. If they have questions, they can ask us.
Thanks, everybody. Nice meeting you.
What?
Thank you, everybody. Yeah,
Thank
well,
you. Yeah.